Good evening. Just getting ready to head out for a nice evening paddle on the Chocolate River, and thought I would quickly show you what this Voyager has for outfitting. We'll just take a moment and then I'll get on the water. So just running from bow to stern, first it has about 3 inches cut off of the height, so it's 16, 12.5, and 13 in terms of sheer height. Just lowers the profile, makes it handle better in wind. Obviously it doesn't do anything for speed through the water. It does give me a better stroke because I don't have to reach quite as high over the gunnels. And with that amount of cut down, the gunnels just pop off. You don't even have to undo the thwarts that were attached to the boat. They hold their shape. You just pop them off, cut the boat down, pop them back on, re-drill the holes, and throw rivets through it. And that's all you have to do. Added a grab loop here so that when it's covered with a spray deck, I can grab it quickly and easily. This should have a piece of nylon, or sorry, not nylon, a piece of vinyl tubing in it so it holds its shape, but I didn't happen to have any and haven't gotten around to redoing that. This boat doesn't have float tanks, so I had to add an extra. This is a carbon fiber and honeycomb rib, so I added an extra rib in there to reinforce the bow. It was oil canning a bit without that float tank. And you can see up front here, I've also added some Kevlar rope that's embedded just to reinforce the bow. I don't plan on abusing this boat, but you know, I do use it on Lake Superior and have made a few surf landings with it, and so it can run up on the beach pretty hard when things don't go perfectly. I've got eyelets so that I can lace a float bag in the front, again mostly for Lake Superior paddling. Here is a front lunch counter. This is the bow section, so this is a carbon fiber lunch counter with a wide weave, low crimp carbon material. There's Nomex honeycomb core in the middle and then more carbon on the bottom. I've put in an old man handle. Both holds the GPS and makes it really easy to stand up when you need to scout rapids or whatever. Really easy to just grab this with one hand and pull yourself up to standing. And then I've got a paddle clip there, so that replaces the thwart that used to be here. These are my foot pedals. They are just carbon plates on tubing that goes over the Wenonah foot brace. So those are my rudder pedals. And then you can see I made some carbon brackets to hold the rudder housing there, and then the rudder cable itself is just a Dyneema cord. This boat came with a baler. In hindsight, I wish I hadn't done that. I'd rather have a flat floor so that I could lay down and sleep in the boat if I needed to. I might get rid of that eventually, but these pieces of foam help direct the water into the baler so it doesn't just slosh past it on each side. I've put in a Landic big-ass seat, so a nice big comfortable seat. And underneath I've got one of my, I call it a glove box. I've got a small mesh pouch that stays closed with magnets. And then on the back I've got another pouch just for extra gear. The seat pretty much stays in one place, and I plan on swapping this out. The seat won't slide fore and aft anymore, but it will go up and down in height. Right now I've got it on 1 1/4 inch risers, but I'd like to be able to adjust it on the fly so that if I get into water that is bumpy or choppy, I can drop the height really quickly. Here's the stern lunch counter. I've got a drink holder right there. You can see where the stern spray deck attaches, and then there's the paddle clip for my spare paddle. So that also replaces the thwart that used to be back here. You can see the rudder cables run along here in the back. I've again reinforced the stern with that Kevlar rope, so that's embedded in glass. Made a small carbon deck on the stern. I plan on doing that on the front too, but I just haven't gotten around to actually installing it. But that's a small carbon deck which replaces the original. It's not very pretty here, but it also replaces the original plastic cap. And then here's the Smart Track rudder. This is the mounting pad that I built and installed for this boat. So it takes a bracket mount rudder, and the way this is mounted, when this comes down, you know, my normal water line's down here, so the blade is submerged just about where the foil is. It doesn't go much deeper than that. And you can see these just exit the hull right there. And then these snaps are for my spray deck, which I haven't put on this boat, obviously, so that I could show you these other things. So I'll put the spray deck on, we'll wrap up the walkthrough, and then I'm going paddling. And here it is with the spray decks. These decks are a hybrid snap and lace system, so the snaps make it quick and easy to put the deck on and take it off. The lacing system I like better than Velcro or directly snapping it to the boat for expedition style paddling, because you can adjust the tension so nicely. And for, you know, if you're talking about Velcro, it's not going to get all jammed with sand and burrs and grass and things like that. So this works really well. These snaps are a special style of snap that only release when you pull it here. So they only release from one direction. There's a little dot that you can't see on the snap that tells you, but it won't release from any other direction. So if you snag it, it doesn't come off. And if you don't want to drill holes in your boat, we can actually hook you up with adhesive snap buttons, snap studs, YKK SNAD adhesive snap studs. They're expensive though. They're about $2 a piece. So you can do that, but at, let's see, about 16 per side, 32, it's about an extra $64 to do that. Unfortunately, we don't make any profit on that. That's just what they cost. But the edge of this is reinforced with a piece of webbing, and then these are all bar tacked and reinforced as well. You can see the paddles snap into the paddle clips. In the front, it's held with bungees. I don't actually like that, so now I'm making them all with the pocket here to hold on to the paddle blade. And then in the cockpit area, I do use Velcro, because in this boat, I'm not paddling whitewater. I want to get in and out quickly when I'm at portages, and I don't need full coverage. It's okay if my lower back is exposed. So the way that this one's made, it's one of our speed decks, so it attaches with 2-inch Velcro, which is quite durable. It has a high-density polyethylene batten sewn into it to keep it up off your knees and help the water run off. And then it's a tunnel that's actually a 5-piece. 5-piece? Yeah, it's a 5-piece speed deck with a 4-piece tunnel here, and it sits up around your waist really comfortably. Gives you about 4 inches of fore and aft movement, and it ends up working really well. Just has little grab handles or grab loops on the sides, and obviously I'm not in it, so it's not, you know, the tunnel itself isn't up, but you can see how the arch batten works. And that is my expedition paddling solo. This is a Wenonah Voyager, and that's how I outfit it. And I'm really happy. Works great.